Morning settles over Hiroshima with a warm, heavy stillness. The cicadas hum without pause, their sound folding into the distant clatter of trolley cars and factory whistles. Tsutomu Yamaguchi wipes a thin sheen of sweat from his forehead as he walks through the narrow streets, his briefcase gently tapping against his leg with each step. He feels the weight of 3 long months away from home, the absence of familiar voices, the small ache of missing his wife and their young daughter. Today, at last, he's going back to Nagasaki. He adjusts his collar, nods politely to a passing shopkeeper, and steps through the gates of Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. The smell of machine oil lingers faintly in the air. His mind runs through the last drawings he needs to approve, the small tasks that stand between him and the afternoon train. His fingers move with practiced certainty as he signs off the final sheet, rolls his blueprints, ties the string, and exhales, letting the moment settle. It feels like a turning point, a return to normal life, waiting just beyond the city. He steps back outside. Heat presses down. The sky looks unremarkable, pale and cloudless. He tightens his grip on the briefcase, thinking of souvenirs he might bring home, thinking of lunch, thinking of nothing more dramatic than the ordinary rhythm of a summer day. And then the sky ignites. A white light erupts above him, so intense it seems to dissolve the world, swallowing buildings, streets and shadows in one impossible flash. He has no time to fully register it. His body reacts before his mind does. He throws up an arm, turns away, feels the heat sear the exposed side of his face. A shockwave slams into him with crushing force, lifting him from the ground and hurling him into a field of dirt and broken glass. For a moment there is nothing at all. No sound, no breath, only a thick, unreal stillness as he lies stunned, staring upward. Then the noise returns in a sudden rush, a roaring, rolling blast that seems to come from every direction. Dust hangs in the air like fog. Above him, a pillar of fire climbs into the sky, swelling and changing shape like something alive. He blinks, his ears ring. His left arm burns, his shirt hangs in shreds, but he is alive. He pushes himself upright, his legs trembling beneath him. The world around him twists into a landscape he barely recognises. Houses are flattened, splintered, or burning. Pieces of roofing tile lie scattered like wet leaves. A woman stumbles past him silently, her hair singed away, her arms held out awkwardly, as if trying not to touch her own damaged skin. A bicycle leans against a crushed wall, both wheels melted into warped ovals. Each breath tastes of ash. He swallows hard and forces himself to focus. He needs to reach the train station. If he can make it there, he can still get home. The idea becomes a lifeline, a single thread he can grip to stop himself from drowning in everything around him. He begins to walk, one careful step at a time, shielding his eyes from the drifting soot. Every corner reveals another collapsed building, another fire crackling through what used to be a street of shops, another group of people moving like sleepwalkers, dazed and burned. He moves among them, feeling the heat that still rises from the ground, hearing distant cries that come and go like waves. His legs ache, his skin screams with every movement, but he keeps going. Hours seem to stretch and fold as he pushes through the debris-filled streets. He loses track of time, he loses track of direction, but instinct and determination pull him forward until he finally reaches the station, or the remnants of it. The building is half destroyed, the roof sagging inward, the platform pitted with debris. But there are survivors, some sitting, some leaning on twisted railings, all waiting for something that feels just shy of impossible. By late afternoon, a train actually arrives. Windows cracked, paint scorched, but moving. He climbs aboard. The moment the doors close, he allows himself the smallest flicker of belief that he will see his family again. The next day, he stands at the threshold of his home in Nagasaki, his bandaged arm pressed gently against his chest. His wife gasps when she sees him. His daughter clings to her mother's kimono, her wide eyes fixed on him as if trying to understand how someone can look familiar and changed at the same time. He explains as best he can what happened, though the words feel brittle and inadequate. No description can truly contain the image of Hiroshima on fire. He reports for work at the Mitsubishi office in Nagasaki, wanting to prove he's not as fragile as he feels. His co-workers stare at his burns, their expressions caught between concern and disbelief. He tries to tell them what he witnessed. The flash, the shockwave, the ruins. But before he can finish, another light blooms outside the window. Another flash. Another impact. Another impossible moment repeating itself. He collapses to the floor as glass shatters inward. The room convulses with force. Once again the world explodes into white, then orange, then darkness. When the dust settles, he rises slowly, stunned that he has survived a second time. In the days that follow, fever grips him. Radiation sickness knocks him down, then lets him crawl forward just long enough to crush him again. Hair falls out in clumps, hunger disappears, thoughts drift. But he clings to life with the same stubbornness that pushed him through Hiroshima's ruins. When Japan surrenders, when the rumours become facts, when the scale of destruction becomes known, Yamaguchi realises he carries something rare. Not just survival, but first-hand knowledge of what these weapons truly do. Not statistics, not theories, human reality. He makes a decision. He will talk again and again, even when people don't want to hear it. Not statistics, not theories, human reality. He makes a decision. He will talk again and again, even when people don't want to hear it. Over the next decades, he becomes a soft-spoken but relentless voice for peace. He speaks at schools, town halls, memorials, conferences. His tone remains calm, almost gentle, but his words carry the weight of two ruined cities. He describes heat so intense it bends metal, winds so violent they rip people from the ground, fires that erase entire neighbourhoods in minutes. He writes, he testifies, he stands at ceremonies with survivors who share the same haunted memories, and he keeps explaining, in patient human detail, what nuclear weapons transform ordinary cities into. He is not interested in blame. He is not interested in politics. He wants a world where no one else has to live with what he carries. As he grows older, his movements slow, but his voice does not. When filmmakers ask to record him, he sits beneath bright studio lights and speaks with the same steady honesty he always has. When journalists question his memories, he answers without hesitation. And when he is finally recognised as the only official survivor of both Hiroshima and Nagasaki, he accepts the title with a quiet discomfort, because he knows it represents something far larger than himself. Near the end of his life, a reporter asks him what he wants people to understand. He closes his eyes for a moment, gathering the words, choosing them with care. Then he says that humanity cannot survive another Hiroshima, cannot survive another Nagasaki, cannot survive another moment when the sky turns white and the world tears open. He dies in 2010, 93 years old, leaving behind a message written not in theory or politics, but in lived experience. A man who walked through two infernos, survived them both, and spent the rest of his life trying to make sure no one would ever have to.